Sometimes you come across a mysterious potential toy hunting gem that looks so awesome and yet nobody talks about, that could be a retro toy gold mine. Hello Explorer. Sometimes being a public transport adventurer doesn't always work out, but today's destination just looks so good, I just had to figure out a way to get there. But good news, my dad stepped in at the last minute to give me a lift, fancied a father-son road trip. We're heading north to 88 miles per hour, Toys and Collectibles. There's not much online about this one, but I've got a good feeling about it, and I really think this could be a must-visit store. Just arrived, still don't know much about this place, so very exciting. Let's go discover 88 miles an hour. I always do a bit of online previewing and research before I head to any of these shops, and from what I saw online, it really does not do this place justice at all. It's really big, there's 2 rooms, the first one you walk in, and nice high ceiling, combination natural light and artificial light, so it's all nice and bright. There's cabinets all over the place, really nice displays, big variety of stuff. There's lots of big boxed items all high above, going right to the ceiling. There's comics, random merch, all the things I like. And then there's a second room, which is a little smaller, but equally looks bursting with bits and pieces. Got a nice big Transformers display here, lots of G1s, little smattering of G2, some boxed items. We've actually got all 5 of the Dinobots, and I'm assuming that's a vintage swoop because it's a bit pricey for me, 300, but it's awesome to see all 5 of the Dinobots nicely displayed like that. I haven't really got a shopping list today. Thinking probably looking at this cabinet, retro robots, maybe a bit of quirky merch. We'll have to see. I mean, my taste could change any moment. I've got loads more GoBots than I normally see anywhere. A few I've got my eye on. The Cykill, although he looks good. I know he's probably worth 45, but 45, that's definitely out of my budget. But this guy, definitely quite tempting. I actually had him, the child, I think he got bashed to pieces. And then also the Flying Saucer at the back. I know she's a Guardian, but I don't remember the character's name. The shopping list is growing very quickly. So I've spotted 2 RoboForce robots. Both of those look fantastic. Very, very tempted by those. And the prices look pretty good. £7 each. I think they're both going to be on the shopping list. We'll leave them there for now. Can't imagine anyone else is going to be picking them up. There's a nice selection of Marvel UK comics. Oh, and just general UK comics. So you got a bunch of She-Ra's at the top. I don't think I've ever seen a UK She-Ra comic. Ghostbusters, Turtles, Thundercats, Care Bears. Thundercats, that was one of the main comics I used to get as a kid, and it wasn't until a bit later that I got turned on to the Transformer comics. I can see something I've been after for a while for a very good price. Issue 200. Don't need too many more of the 100s and 200s. It's mainly the 300s I'm on to now, but 200, that's definitely coming home with me. So you've actually got, unlike any other shop I've been to before, a selection of Wiggly Gigglies. I'm not really looking to start a collection of these, but it's cool to see like a whole bunch of them together, plus something I haven't seen since my childhood, which hacky sacks. Everyone went bananas for these in the playground. No one knew what they were for apart from chucking around until secondary school when She's All That came out and Freddie Prinze Jr. was doing keepy uppies with them. And I think they're a tenner each, so maybe I'm going to relive my childhood and get back into the hacky sack game. There's a lack of online hype, cloaked in mystery, 88 miles per hour, has a smaller online presence, so you can get a flavour of what the store's like, but it's a little bit more low-key in comparison to, say, Leicester Vintage or Nerd Base and all those other kind of big name shops that people go on about. Once you're here though, it's just so amazing. Like, from looking at the shop from the outside, you've got all the cool branding, and then from just as you're approaching the door, you can see It's a vast cavern of cool 80s and 90s collectibles and all sorts of bits and pieces. And you've got stellar selection, big boxed items, like there's a whole pile of Star Wars at the back, and it looks in really good condition. Action Force, like American Action Force plus Palette Toy Action Force, Action Man, great big mask selection, which we'll look at in a moment. Just tons and tons of stuff here, and a real variety from the expected bits, He-Man, Transformers, to just more obscure things, stuff I haven't seen for years and years. So one of the most impressive things here is this huge collection of mask figures or vehicles, all of them boxed. I mean, they've got loose as well, and I think it looks like they've maybe got some kind of mask chocolate product. Maybe it's an Easter egg. But you've got Boulder Hill, you've got Switchblade, more mask than I know, and of course Condor, the little green bike that turns into a helicopter. That's the only toy that anyone at school had. Mask, I really like them. I wouldn't mind a Thunderhawk, but on the whole I'm not too fussed about Mask. The cartoon's cool, the theme music's very good, although if you watch the cartoon, the bit where they all put their masks on, like they go down to the basement, put their masks on, very creepy, like they're putting their creepy masks on to go and do some kind of ritual sacrifice. Give it a watch, it's a cool cartoon, but yeah, that sequence felt a bit creepy to me. This shop is located at Dagfield's Craft and Antique Centre. I think there's 7 big units, then lots of smaller ones, there's cafes, food places. So if you brought someone with you, you can drop him off to go and look at all the boring antique shops while you enjoy 88 miles per hour. So 88 is run by Rob and Claire, and the shop started life about 6 years ago, has moved around to different units and settled here back in April. So it's good to know that it's growing, and it's great as a customer because it means there's loads and loads of stuff to see and enjoy. And Rob and Claire have been great hosts. Even before I got here, they were trying to help me figure out my route, and they even offered to help me out with a lift for the last leg. And then when I arrived here, they even offered me a hot drink, which I declined because I don't really drink hot drinks. Just stick with the delicious water. But this is something you don't see too often. A whole bunch of Count Duckula merchandise. Count Duckula, it was, I think, a late 80s cartoon made by Cosgrove Hall in Manchester, and it was actually a spin-off from Danger Mouse. Now, I don't remember any merchandise for this really as a kid, other than my friend had the game on the Commodore 64. Quite a simple platformer, but I remember really enjoying it. But it's just really cool to see a whole bunch of Duckula stuff. So you've got Igor, Nane, and Duckula, whose kind of gimmick was he was a vegetarian vampire. But you've got a nice little selection of stuff here. There's that cool mask at the back. Don't think I'm getting any merch today, but nice to see it. This is so much fun. Am I the only person that didn't know about this shop? I've been missing out on this awesome toy hunting adventure, but now I'm finally here. I think I stumbled across the shop, I don't know, a couple of months ago on Facebook, and since then I've been really excited to get down here and check it out and see what it's like. In a moment we're going to head to the second room, but this first room's been really good. Real mix of expected items, unusual things, little nostalgic bursts of 80s childhood joy, and I've got my eye on a whole bunch of bits and pieces so far. Definitely going back to that Transformer cabinet and also the comics. Could be a few other bits and pieces that we pick up though, so we'll get back in here after room 2. Room 2 looks like a big Aladdin's cave of all sorts of stuff. There's some modern to your left, there's little pyramids in the middle of all sorts of bits and pieces, glass cabinets, so we'll explore those shortly. Looks like it's going to be a very exciting room for us. This room skews a little bit more girl toy collector friendly, but there's still a big variety in here. Got Action Man behind, which we'll have a look at. Got 3 pyramids of Beanie Babies, Looney Tunes, Doctor Who, but even mixed in with those there's all sorts of random little bits and pieces. Got a whole bunch of boring pop vinyls, lots of modern Masters of the Universe. But it's the glass cabinets that are really interesting, because you've got all the things that are quite common, but then you've got this little display of kind of British childhood 80s bits and pieces. Mr. Ben, Ivor the Engine, Wombles, Andy Cap, Parsley from the Stage Garden. I remember watching that really early on a Saturday morning. That's what's really cool about here, is in amongst all the familiar American lines, you get little bursts of British nuggets of youth and nostalgia. Another little dose of 80s childhood. You've got these cool annuals. If you're not from the UK annuals, they're always hardbacked. They came out, I think, about September to October, in the run up to Christmas. We got Rent-A-Ghost here, Sooty, and Wurzel Gummidge, all the big 80s childhood hits. There's a whole pile of reasons to come visit this shop, a whole stack of reasons, stacked to the ceiling with reasons. The only negative is, if you're coming on public transport, it's a little tricky to get here. You need to get to Crewe, and then you can get a bus. There's a couple of different bus options, but the last leg is on foot, and it's described to me as a bit of a country lane racetrack. So when I looked at it on Google Maps, I didn't really fancy it, but it's definitely worth making the journey here. And nice little bonus is, it's open a lot of the time. They close on Mondays and then open the rest of the week, occasionally close on Tuesdays. They're open 10 till about 5, and also you've got all the surrounding area, so as I mentioned earlier, you can just deposit family members that aren't interested in this kind of thing. To that time when I need to start making some decisions, and while I was recording, Rob came and gave me a shout, and he actually got down his huge selection of Transformer comics, and we had a good rummage through those. And I picked up, or I'm going to pick up, issue 200, 300, 299. So nice of Rob to do that. Both Rob and Claire have been so nice hosting me, putting up with a huge string of emails. So I'd really just like to show some appreciation, because way more people should be talking about this shop to help spread the word. And I've still got a whole bunch more decisions to make, but it's going to be really difficult because there's so much here. Great displays, and on top of that, you've got all those little school ground bursts of nostalgia and kind of rarities like your Count Duckula, Hacky Sacks, Mr. Ben, Wiggly Gigglies, Wurzel Gummidge, Rent-A-Ghost, Depot Destination Store. Everyone should be talking about this. This is definitely should be the next big thing for UK toy hunting. So tell people about it, get yourself down here. Now let's go buy some awesome stuff. So probably no surprise, I haven't emptied the shop, the budget's not that big, but very happy with my purchases. Got those Roboforce, got a couple of GoBots, a hacky sack, and those 3 Transformer comics. So really pleased. So 88 miles per hour, well worth the journey. Big thanks to Rob and Claire for having me. And if you've enjoyed this, click left to see my last adventure, Toyplosion in Germany, or click right in a couple of weeks when I'll be at Birmingham Toy Fair. So hope you've enjoyed this. See you soon, Explorer. Have a great day.